They called the first time, the police came out, and everything was fine. Excuse me. The second time the police came out, now this is all hearsay, what I'm saying, because the investigation is still ongoing. But according to what I've been told, a crisis intervention officer talked to Ms. Anderson at length and convinced her to voluntarily go to the hospital. Unfortunately, when she was either on her way to the police car or in the back of the police car, there's two different versions of what happened. But the end result was Tanisha struggled. The officers went to put handcuffs on her, and in doing so, she was put in the prone position and she went into cardiac arrest. She later died at the hospital. Well, the medical examiner has ruled her death as a homicide. Now, Tanisha had an underlying heart condition. Nobody knows if Tanisha knew or her family knew that she had a heart condition. Most of you have probably heard of the Ferguson effect. Well, I'm here to tell you that in Cleveland, there is a Tanisha Anderson effect. I have talked to many people who are now afraid to call 911. It's not because they blame the police for anything. They realize that this investigation hasn't been completed. However, they are afraid that if they're claustrophobic, if they have to ride in the back of a police car, especially if they're handcuffed, they're afraid that their flight or their fight or flight mechanism will kick in, and they may have the worst panic attack of their life. They're not violent, but they're worried that something will take over and they'll start to try to kick out the windows. They're worried that having the worst panic attack of their life could also cause a heart attack. So it's not so much that people are afraid of the police officers. They have a fear of the unknown. I can tell you that sexual trauma survivors, a lot of them are claustrophobic. For anybody that was in the military and experienced sexual trauma, being led to a small backseat of a car with some strange men in uniform would be very triggering. Also, you have veterans who were in Humvees and they hid an explosive device and were injured in Iraq or Afghanistan. So
it's time to get back into the kitchen.
Who are you talking to?
You. We don't want to hear it.
Yes, we do.
We don't want to hear it.
We were fine till you
I'm
interrupted.
tired of these women talking from the stand.
Then sign up and do it yourself.
Listen. Have you ever served in the Marines? Because I can tell you that I am more of a man than you'll ever be. And you and your... Well, but you know what? You don't have the intestinal fortitude or the balls to serve in the military yourself. So you take your ass and get to stepping. Anyway.
Go away, we don't like you.
Dominated thing. It's not for loudmouth women like you.
Enough with
Anyway. You are a joke.
It's time to ban women from the military. You're making us look bad. You can't handle the combat. You can't handle it. You can't handle it.
Solutions to this problem include cities should review their crisis intervention policies and procedures. Shut the fuck up! Listen! Do you know how to kill people with your bare hands, mister? Because I do. Anyway, cities should review their crisis intervention policies and procedures. They should eliminate any denigrating language that refers to people in crisis as disturbed or deranged. Policies should use people first language and not be called handling the mentally ill. If your city does not have a crisis intervention training program, demand that they start one. Expand crisis intervention training programs to include 911, dispatchers, firefighters, EMTs. Create mental health courts, drug courts, and veterans courts in jurisdictions that don't already have them. Give all first responders mental health first aid training. Train police officers about the dangers of positional asphyxiation and have a policy warning people who are acting psychotic due to drugs or alcohol or a mental illness can be particularly susceptible to positional asphyxiation. Start treating mental illness like a medical illness that needs treatment. Make sure all first responders have Narcan, including police officers, so that they can respond to people having a heroin overdose. There have been countless lives saved by first responders carrying Narcan. Recognize mental illness is not a crime. It's a medical condition that involves the brain and should be treated as such. Providing effective mental health care by expanding existing cost-effective programs, this will save taxpayers money and reduce crime in the long run. The mental health care system is broken. Cities and states need more funding and must use a strategic approach while allocating their financial resources. There must be a spectrum of care that ranges from preventative to life-threatening. This includes having early intervention programs to identify symptoms of mental illness in school children so they can get the care they need early on. Some individuals don't belong in jail or a hospital emergency room, so creating more diversion programs like intake centers and mobile crisis community action teams will divert them to community programs which offer counseling, medication, and sometimes housing for the homeless. Permanent supportive housing programs give homeless adults mental illness the opportunity to live independently while accessing supportive services. Yes, this is expensive, but it actually saves money in the long run. After all, the human cost of treating mental illness is incalculable. Also, every jurisdiction